Hi everyone, I'm Stas from Mindful Attachment Coaching, and today we're going to take a deep dive into a specific attachment strategy, compulsive caregiving. And this can often be the defining feature of a person's life. If you've ever wondered why you feel drawn to caregiving roles, or just generally find yourself providing most of the care in a relationship, this video is for you. Compulsive caregiving is a defensive attachment strategy, and it develops in response to a primary caregiver who's either neglectful, withdrawn, or anxious. And what the child learns in these early environments is that if only I take good enough care of my parent, my caregiver, then maybe there will be some care for me. And this often leads to role reversal. The child becomes the comforter, the soother, the emotional regulator for the parent. And then it becomes internalized and shapes adult behaviors. And somebody with this compulsive caregiving attachment strategy in adulthood usually feels quite comfortable being the primary caregiver in significant relationships like close friendships, romantic relationship, and even with their own parents. And one of the downsides, of course, is that the care goes out, usually very little comes in, and these people often most struggle with tuning into their own needs and being able to have those needs met. So let's look at a few key signs of compulsive caregiving. Do you feel safest when you're taking care of others? You minimize or ignore your emotional needs. It's difficult for you to receive care from others. Do you smile or laugh off painful experiences or memories as you describe them? Do you find yourself forming quick alliances with people in authority? So for example, doctors, therapists, your boss at work, and also caretaking of them emotionally. And compulsive caregiving is considered an adaptive response to threat, specifically the threat of losing your parent or primary caregiver's attention. If you reflect back on your own early memories and you remember instances of being hurt, upset, or vulnerable in any way and presenting that to your parents, to your primary caregiver, and that making them anxious, you may actually have to engage in this compulsive caregiving where you actively suppress your emotional needs in order not to overwhelm the parent and instead tune into what they need in these moments. So in a way, it's a brilliant strategy. It helps the child survive and to have better care overall, but it really has major downsides in adulthood, where people may enjoy receiving care from you, but you as an individual, your own inner experience, you may find yourself feeling neglected still or altogether unable to have your needs met. And adults using this strategy may find themselves being the rock in every relationship. They may have a hard time tuning into their needs. They rarely ask for help, have a difficult time naming their own feelings, and often feel guilty when the attention is focused on them. Even in therapy, this kind of role reversal may still show up, where they avoid expressing their difficulties, their painful experiences, and instead focus out and attempt to try to take care of the therapist. One of the most striking features of compulsive caregiving is what we call false positive affect. For example, someone might be describing a traumatic event and laugh as they do so. And it's not because they think it's funny. It's because in the past, if they showed the pain they were feeling, others would pull away. So they actively avoid doing that now. Compulsive caregiving doesn't go away by simply stopping caring for others, nor does it go away if you care even more for others. You actively have to learn to tune into your own needs, begin to tolerate this conflicting sense of distress when you turn attention towards you, when others turn attention towards you. And as you do, begin to fill out your own inner landscape, figure out what it is you do need. And most often it requires this major rebalancing of all relationships, especially the significant ones, where you may be doing all the heavy lifting, most of it, caring for others, and you actually have to renegotiate them where the care is more mutual and balanced, where both parties feel like not only are they receiving care, they're also giving care. So if you're finding yourself resonating with this compulsive caregiving, The major difference may be that it feels like you're actually doing less and you're taking more. And that may be okay. And as part of working with this compulsive caregiving strategy, you also want to actively track moments when you're laughing, smiling, or presenting in this positive way, especially when you're feeling pain or you're hurt or there's something off. And you also want to be really carefully monitoring when you're smiling, laughing, or being positive in spite of feeling overwhelmed or in pain or hurt in some way. There's something important happening there. And it's up to you to find out what that is. And of course, it's helpful to work with somebody who's professionally trained in this and understand what this kind of role reversal on compulsive caregiving is, how to detect it, and how to begin to resolve it. And at Mindful Attachment Coaching, we specialize in working with attachment strategies like compulsive caregiving and avoidance more generally, using the ideal parent figure protocol, repair methods, integrative attachment, therapeutic modalities, and much more. And if this video is resonating for you, you're not alone. You're likely not the only person in the world who uses this kind of strategy. You also have to understand that these strategies are adaptive and at some point, especially early in life, likely led to you receiving more care, better care at some point. But now you may find the limitations of that. You may be feeling burnt out or empty or unable to access your own emotions, your own needs. To go deeper, you can start by taking the free attachment quiz, or you can look into one-to-one services like the Ideal Parent Figure Protocol, classes, and it's all listed on the website at mindfulattachmentcoaching.com. And thanks for watching. You're welcome to like, share, subscribe, and pass this video on to anybody who you think might benefit from it. And remember, you're worthy of the same care you're offering to others.